Okay. Our Pakistani lady.
You can say we want to start in a minute. Could you please sit down?
I did all. Je déclare ouverte la session de clôture de la Conférence internationale des Nations Unies à l'appui de la paix israélo-arabe. Monsieur le représentant de l'État de Palestine, cher ami Mansour Riyad, observateur permanent de l'État de Palestine auprès des Nations Unies à New York, Monsieur le secrétaire général adjoint des affaires politiques des Nations Unies, Monsieur Miroslav Jenča, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants du gouvernement, d'organisations intergouvernementales et non gouvernementales, d'organismes et programmes des Nations Unies, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs, Mesdames et Messieurs les experts, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers invités, nous sommes arrivés au terme de la conférence qui nous a permis d'entendre des exposés très instructifs et d'avoir des débats animés et féconds. Le comité a également eu des échanges fructueux avec un certain nombre d'experts ainsi qu'avec d'autres participants. Je tiens à souligner que la délégation du comité est très satisfaite du déroulement et de la teneur de cette conférence. Les experts que nous avons entendus ces 2 jours et les débats qui ont suivi ont mis en lumière les limites et les avancées des initiatives en faveur de la paix entre Israël et l'État de Palestine. Je veux mettre en exergue, par exemple, le rôle de la société civile. Notre dernier intervenant ce jour a mis en lumière tous les avantages de l'inclusion de la société civile pour construire un environnement favorable à la paix. Je tiens également à vous dire que notre comité, auprès duquel sont accréditées plus de 800 organisations, s'engage à renforcer sa coopération pour faciliter leur contribution au processus de paix. La présentation de M. De Soto a mis en valeur les apprentissages d'autres processus de paix auxquels les Nations Unies ont contribué positivement. Cela confirme le rôle important que l'organisation universelle, c'est-à-dire l'ONU, peut jouer pour accompagner Israël et la Palestine sur le chemin difficile mais inévitable de la paix. Enfin, j'appelle la communauté internationale à redoubler d'efforts pour que les peuples israéliens et palestiniens puissent enfin vivre en paix. J'ai l'insigne honneur de donner la parole à M. Miroslav Jenča, sous-secrétaire général des affaires politiques des Nations Unies, pour délivrer sa déclaration de clôture. M. Jenča, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Ambassador Seck, dear Ambassador Mansour, and Director of the Division for Palestinian Rights, Mr. Tambouri, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. The timeliness of the United Nations International Conference in support of Israeli-Palestinian peace has shown once again that peace is possible and that a comprehensive agreement that realizes the two-state solution, resulting in the shared goal of the free and sovereign state of Palestine, living in prosperity and peace with Israel and all of its neighbors in mutual recognition of each other's legitimate rights, including self-determination, remains the only way forward. As various speakers have reiterated over the past 2 days, a sustainable peace can and will be achieved only through promoting an environment conducive to the success of the negotiating process. This includes encouraging both sides to refrain from actions that undermine trust, while taking concrete steps to create a more positive environment to return to meaningful negotiations. Both parties must live up to their commitments, consistent with Security Council resolutions 242 and 338, and resolve all the core issues, namely territory, security, Jerusalem, refugees, settlements, and water. Despite the setbacks over the years, and also, as we heard here, different views of the participants, we still believe that most people on both sides still support the idea of two states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side. Understandably, the failure to reach a lasting and sustainable peace has led to frustration and the loss of hope for Palestinians and Israelis alike. We know this situation is not sustainable. The longer it lasts, the further we move away from the possibility of a peaceful outcome for this decades-long conflict. The United Nations stands ready to support any measure or initiative that aims to avoid a further deterioration of the situation on the ground and to reinvigorate the peace process. Just a few days ago, the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, visited Israel and the State of Palestine and held consultations with the Israeli and Palestinian leaderships, including President Abbas, Prime Minister Netanyahu, and President Rivlin. He traveled to Gaza, where he viewed the reconstruction efforts underway. The quartet report will soon be released and is expected to reflect broad international consensus that the two-state solution remains the only path to achieve the national aspirations of both peoples, and that this vision is under grave threat. The report, we believe, will also provide recommendations on the way forward to advance peace. The illegal settlement enterprise must cease. Palestinians must be given the right to build a future on their land. Terrorism and incitement to violence must also stop, while greater efforts towards unifying the West Bank and Gaza under one legitimate leadership in accordance with the PLO principles must be made. We are hopeful that the report will encourage the parties to start taking positive steps that will demonstrate their commitment to and create the conditions for an eventual return to negotiations for a long-lasting, sustainable peace. The United Nations will continue its support to the work of the Committee on the Exercise of Inalienable Rights of Palestinian People through its important activities, which can make a unique contribution towards achieving our goal and provide a very important platform we have been witnessing during the last 2 days. Thank you very much.
Je remercie M. Miroslav Jenča, sous-secrétaire général des Nations Unies, pour sa déclaration. Les organisateurs de cette conférence apprécient particulièrement, M. Jenča, que vous ayez pris le temps de venir s'adresser à la conférence. Je voudrais également saisir l'occasion pour vous remercier pour le soutien que notre comité et également la division des droits des Palestiniens reçoivent à partir de votre bureau à New York. Excellence, je vous remercie à nouveau pour votre présence. Je donne maintenant la parole à son Excellence M. Mansour Riyad, observateur permanent de l'État de Palestine auprès des Nations Unies à New York. M. Riyad, vous avez la parole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And also I want to welcome my good friend, Mr. Jenča, representing, the Secretary General and the UN. And of course, Elio, my good friend, the Chief of the Division. Let me begin on behalf of the Palestinian people and their leadership, if my brothers allow me, Nabil and Muhammad and others, to express our gratitude and thanks to the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights for organizing this very important and useful conference, to the division and all of my friends in the division who are so excellent in making everything perfect and dealing with all of the details in making a successful conference, to the experts, to the representatives of many governments, to the NGOs, to the media, and to all of you who have contributed in your own ways to making this meeting a very successful one. We are grateful for that. Let me also express our gratitude to all of the experts who have contributed because of their experience, their wisdom, and their knowledge in a very significant way to the ongoing discussion of how we can open meaningful doors for peace, which concretely means ending the occupation, allowing for the independence of the State of Palestine, and saving the two-state solution. You might ask the following few questions. Why are we here? Why now? Why this topic that we've selected? And why in Geneva? I tell you why we are here now, because if we do not do something and contribute to the discussion, there is no more time left, and the situation will explode to a level, to an unprecedented level. It's not only us that are coming to this conclusion. It is the French who initiated the French initiative. It is the quartet, which is trying, maybe for the last time, of rehabilitating itself and elevating itself to the level of dealing with the critical situation as it should be. And also the revival of the Arab Peace Initiative. Even Switzerland, about a month ago, took an initiative, I believe it was a few days before the 3rd of June, in which they called for a meeting, and many Europeans accommodated the call, including the special representative of France, who is coordinating the French initiative, to come to discuss a very important element of the reconciliation of the Palestinians. We are grateful for that effort, but this is our responsibility as Palestinians. We need to put our house in order. And I agree with my good friend Alvaro when he said in the example of El Salvador, it was not only unifying the groups, it made a difference, and I totally agree with you. It is our responsibility to put our house in order because of the moment, and it will make a huge difference. Because of all these events, and because of the explosion that took place beginning last October, led by our youth in Jerusalem, in El Khalil, in Hebrew, because of the beyond shame situation in Gaza, the blockade, the isolation of Jerusalem, all these are ticking bombs. It's not only our analysis. This is the analysis of all those who all of a sudden are making these analyses and trying to do something. Why now? There is no more time. If we do not do something quickly, and if we do not convince the Palestinian people relatively quickly, then things could deteriorate to a level beyond what we have seen so far, particularly over Jerusalem and specifically over holy sites in Jerusalem. It doesn't require a genius to come to that conclusion. Anyone that is familiar with the reality of our people under occupation, which is approaching 50 years, the longest in contemporary history, would come to the conclusion that we cannot take it anymore as Palestinians. And we cannot control what will happen as a reaction of our people, because what happened in Jerusalem, started in Jerusalem and in Al-Khalil, was not planned by the leadership or the political groups. It is a reflection of a situation in which the entire population is saying, we are fed up with this occupation, we are fed up with you, the international community, with all who promise us certain things, with the political process, with the negotiation. You did not deliver in your promises, and it's either you do something now or we are going to take the issues in our hand. So that's why this moment is a unique moment in our history, and that's why we wanted the committee and all of you who have accommodated this call to invite you to contribute to the discussion of how we can move from where we are to where we should be. Where we should be, we should reach relatively quickly the end of occupation. Therefore, the discussion, and I think the test for the quartet, for example, which unfortunately they did not release the report today. And I know that Nikolai Melidinov gave a briefing today to the Security Council about the content of the report. He asked them to welcome it and to endorse the recommendation. They are, as we speak, in an informal consultation, and we will find out whether they will accommodate his request through a product from this informal meeting as we speak now. And I can tell you, it doesn't require a genius to come to the conclusion that you begin, if you want really the Palestinian people to trust you and the international community to trust you, you begin with practical steps. The first practical step is, what is the main obstacle in the path of opening doors? It is settlements. If the report of the quartet, if it does not recommend practical steps to stop this monster now, then the quartet will fail in reviving itself and being relevant. If it does, that would be an important contribution. It will help the French initiative, complement it, and move us forward. Now also, I just want to tell you that we as Palestinians and the leadership of the Palestinian people, we are trying day and night to find a peaceful solution to this tragedy that we are going through. And in this regard, our contribution to this meeting, we brought the best of our leaders who have participated at different times in the negotiation. Mohammed Shtayeh, Nabil Shaath. And I am honored and delighted that we brought also for the first time another part of the discussion of the Palestinians who are citizens of the State of Israel. Ayman Aoudeh represented them because they are a very important part of the discussion. I am honored and proud that we are trying creative ways to expand in a peaceful way the discussion. We brought all of you. We listened to all the discussions in order really to keep not leaving a door unopen to succeed in putting the train on the path of leading us to the end of occupation. We are thankful for all the experts who gave us different models. The problem is not with the models, but we are thankful for the fact that they gave us models, which the French initiative, if it is going to go through the Annapolis model, that is a recipe for failure. We tried it. Other models, the Madrid model, the collective process, it is more promising, and we are eager to go through that model. We talked about the model 5+1, Iran. Some of our leaders, they say make it 7+2, whatever the number is, meaning another model of trying to have a collective process that would help us to open doors. We are grateful to all of you who gave us all these models and all these ideas. And if the fruit is not ripe, there is no sense in continuing to throw it at the wall. But I believe, and the Palestinian delegation gave you a sense of it, that there is a possibility of ripeness in the air. And it is our collective duty to exploit this moment, that to allow this ripeness to continue, so that perhaps, in spite of the difficulty in Israel, in spite of the fact that there is an extreme rightist government, if we collectively succeed as an international community, as through the efforts of Paris to make it standing on its feet, the French initiative, and move forward, and if the quartet to elevate itself to a meaningful way, if all these things to be reflected in resolutions, on settlements, on parameters, in order not to be the victims of who will be in the White House coming, February, but to put the train that would lead us to the station of ending occupation on the right tracks now. That is our collective responsibility. Those in Israel, the Palestinians, the international community, the United Nations. If we elevate ourselves to that moment, this historical moment would be the moment that will continue the journey that would lead us to that objective. And I can tell you, the Palestinian people, all of them are committed to that objective. If you listen to their call, you will be partners with us to some good things and beginning a new chapter in the relationship between us and our neighbors, the Israelis. If you think that this is exaggeration by us, then don't come crying to us after a few months or 6 months or 8 months when the house is burning, trying to put it down. We are telling you, the warnings are all over the wall. Be serious, active partners with us in order to open doors for peace through all these activities around us. This is the significance of this meeting, and this is why we are in Geneva, the place of peace. Of course, myself and my friend Ibrahim and his team, our ambassador here in Vienna, we are nothing but Palestinians who are working day and night in places of peace at the United Nations, through peaceful methods, through legal methods, to advance. We are honored to advance the cause of our people in these places. As my brothers who came from the occupied territories, they are leaders in advancing the cause of our people in the struggle that they are engaged in resistance in the occupied territory. And my brother Ayman Aoudeh, he is doing a brilliant, brave job inside the Knesset, in the Israeli society, and all of our friends in Israel, some of them who came with us and gave presentations, and others who are not with us. We are all in the same camp. This is the moment. Let's elevate ourselves to that moment. And I thank you very much on the name of the Palestinian people and their leadership and my brothers, the delegation that were with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Je voudrais remercier l'ambassadeur Riyad Mansour, observateur permanent de l'État de Palestine auprès des Nations Unies, pour sa remarque de conclusion, son cri du cœur. Pour ma part, je voudrais réitérer toute la reconnaissance du comité à l'égard du personnel de la division des droits des Palestiniens du secrétariat des Nations Unies, toute l'équipe des services de conférence du Bureau des Nations Unies ici à Genève, les chargés de presse, l'équipe des interprètes et tous ceux qui ont, de près ou de loin, travaillé à ce qu'on peut appeler ici réussite de la conférence de Genève sur l'appui du processus de paix israélo-palestinien. Avant de conclure, je voudrais informer l'auditoire. Ce qu'on appelle the chair summary of the conference will be published in the website of the Division for Palestinian Rights in about 10 days. A full report will be produced later on the recording of the proceedings will be posted in the division's website once it is edited. C'est sur ces informations pratiques que je déclare la conférence internationale des Nations Unies à l'appui de la paix israélo-palestinienne close. Je vous remercie.